Hello there, I am your daily mage, and I welcome you to a big project. This is my top 15 favorite Spongebob episodes. Why am I putting the episode logo here? Oh, because I don't have much footage to work with. That, and if I did, I would probably have this video copyright blocked by Viacom. Anyway, enough with the gibber, enough with the jabber, time to start the countdown. Like many people, I believe the show started to decline in quality from its 4th season onwards. However, I still thought it was a good show until around 2009, in which was when I discovered House Fancy. Needless to say, Toenail. Anyway, season 4. This was considered by many the last good season. I kind of disagree, think that was season 5, maybe season 9. But anyway, this next episode here is one of the post-movie ones I really remember. The famous Krusty Towers. In this episode, Mr. Krabs creates a hotel where the workers are at the mercy of the customers. As a result, Patrick stays at the hotel and gets a room filled with cheese. Or was it mustard? This results in Squidward quitting his job and becoming a customer to the Krusty Towers. And then he makes SpongeBob and Krabs make an indoor swimming pool. And when Patrick jumps in, the place explodes. Then the three are in the hospital, and Mr. Krabs realizes his hospital bills are high and says that the three of them are going to medical school. Oh boy, don't you love when it ends on a joke? Hookie. Now, I have a special relation to this episode. It was the first episode of the show I watched. In this episode, Mr. Krabs discovers that the Hooks have come back to town and tells everyone to beware of the Hooks. SpongeBob asks what it means. When Mr. Krabs reveals something tragic, the Hooks take you up, and they're actual real fishing hooks. That's what I like about this and something. I watched this video, and I watched this episode on a Game Boy Advance video that I got. But other than that, this was the first episode of the show I saw. Then Patrick convinces SpongeBob to go with him to the carnival, which is now in town. Turns out this carnival is really the Hooks. Dun dun dun! Anyway, these Hooks hook the two of them, and they ignore Mr. Krabs' warnings. SpongeBob then ignores Patrick, who wants to play on the hooks with him after being scolded by Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob tries to resist, but then eventually gets caught on a hook. And it's revealed that he can't get off. And so SpongeBob runs to Mr. Krabs for help, who says that the only way to get it off is to strip naked. I couldn't find much footage for this one, and so I'll tell you that the ending has Squidward being the one who pulled that prank. Ah yes, don't you love it when Squidward comes out on top? That's going to be a running theme, by the way. Welcome to the Chum Bucket. This is the first episode on the list that falls into the heartwarming category. In this episode, Mr. Krabs loses a card game against Plankton and has to give up SpongeBob to the Chum Bucket. Now you see Plankton forcing SpongeBob to work, and I really wish I could play the audio for the amazing musical number, about how both SpongeBob and Krabs miss each other, in a way. But anyway, this episode's great, especially the end where Plankton gives up SpongeBob after he won't work. and there was actually a deleted scene of this episode where SpongeBob's brain was getting put into a robot clone of himself, and that didn't work. Anyway, this is the first of many heartwarming moments on this list. Pressure. Once again, I can't find much footage for it, so I'll just have to go off memory. I don't have as strong of a memory of this episode, but I remember it being very good. In this episode, SpongeBob and Sandy challenge each other to see whether aquatic or land animals are the best. This results in starting a race, and then SpongeBob's friends join in, and Squidward, yeah, he's there. Anyway, so the result of this is the going on land where the funniest part of all happens. The ending. SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs are actually, like, really... SpongeBob's a kitchen star on land, Patrick's like a real starfish on land, and Mr. Krabs is a toy that's made to look like a crab, and Squidward is, let me check. Sorry, I'm just checking. But Squidward is an octopus plush, and Sandy's a squirrel doll. And the thing goes, well, except for until the four sea animals get eaten by seagulls. The end. Ah, man, another mean-spirited joke that actually worked. Alright, then number 11's a tie, but they're both sister episodes, so I'll go over them one at a time. Also, this will count as 2 spots. The first of these episodes is Wet Painters. In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick tear down the Krusty Krabs because Squidward said it would attract customers. This causes the two of them to get punished to a special assignment, painting the inside of Mr. Krabs' house. This results in chaos as SpongeBob and Patrick paint Mr. Krabs' first dollar on accident. It turns out that this was just a trick because it was really not permanent paint, and Mr. Krabs isn't even upset with them. Krabs is one of my favorite characters when he's likable. Well, too bad they removed a lot of likability from him in recent seasons. The second episode to get this spot is the legendary Krusty Krab training video. No, this isn't just something I threw together in Windows Movie Maker or something. That's the real title card. This is an episode that plays in the style of an actual training video. I think that's very clever. There's not much to say, but this is the only, or at least the first episode where we get to hear a narration throughout the full thing. Haven't seen every episode of the show. Oh, but I'm pretty sure this is the only episode to get a narration through the full thing. That and some of the jokes are really funny, and the ending is hilarious. At the end, we're about to learn the Krabby Patty formula, but it just, the episode just dies. I'm not even kidding. It just dies. Franka Doodle. Oh man, this episode. I really remembered this episode. This episode, an artist at sea, played by Doug Lawrence, the voice actor of Plankton, drops his pencil down in the ocean, where Patrick finds it, and SpongeBob and Patrick create a doodle version of SpongeBob using the pencil that can somehow create life, which they dub the magic pencil. This SpongeBob Doodle, known as Doodle Bob, starts wreaking havoc, and SpongeBob doesn't realize this until later, when he uses the magic eraser on the back of it to erase all the crap that Doodle Bob has done. This episode is truly amazing, especially when the artist gets his pencil back at the end, because SpongeBob and Patrick raise it up by throwing it up above land. And the result is Doug Lawrence getting his pencil back and then immediately breaking it. That's why you should always bring a spare pencil while being an artist at sea, folks. Dying for pie. Oh man, this episode. In this episode, for Employee Appreciation Day, SpongeBob gets Squidward a sweater made from his own when Squidward scoffs at SpongeBob's original gift of a sweater made out of his eyelashes. Squidward then wishes he could buy a gift for that day, and goes to some nearby pirates and buys a pie from them. Minding the obscurity, the pirates warn him that the pies are really bombs, but he doesn't listen to that. Mr. Krabs figures this out after SpongeBob gets given it, and warns that SpongeBob will be dead by sunset. So Squidward tries to be nice to SpongeBob by giving him his best last day ever. And then there's just this ending where after SpongeBob and Squidward did all these fun things, they literally have a wall between the two of them, and SpongeBob doesn't explode because he never really ate the pie. And then he trips and the pie explodes. That's where that stock explosion effect is from, by the way. You know, I'm kind of baffled myself that a post-movie episode is at number 7 on the list. Anyway, the point I'm trying to get across is this. Enchanted Tiki Dreams is a post-movie episode that feels like a pre-movie episode. Scratch that. This being my favorite post-movie episode, it feels better than a pre-movie episode. Most of the time. In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick finally realize that they've gone too far when annoying Squidward, and decide to build him a land of his dreams. A land filled with tikis, a drink stand, and a tropical resort, all made out of wax. And this sounds disgusting, but it isn't as disgusting as it sounds. I mean, like, in this episode, Squidward gets smoothies, songs, and paints and dances, and everything seems to go well until Patrick accidentally causes a fire, which sets most of the place is on fire and destroys the whole place. And even though Squidward isn't quite happy, this could have ended as a screw you to Squidward, but they actually went another mile by ending the episode with Squidward happy. How exactly? Well, you see, Squidward uses the swinging boat to hit SpongeBob and Patrick with it repeatedly. Don't you love it when Squidward is happy in an episode?